Ashes to Rubies morning meditation, live stream, and podcast. We are here on it's Tuesday. I was reminded of meat this morning. My go-to meat recently.
How were you reminded of meat?
Because you were taking meat out of the freezer.
Oh, yes, because we were talking about what to have for dinner.
My go-to meat recently is shrimp. Like you've always...
Shrimp's not a meat.
Huh?
Shrimp isn't meat.
Lies.
Shrimp is shellfish.
Still meat.
No, shellfish isn't meat. It's shellfish.
There's vegetables, there's fruit, and there's meat.
All right. I'm going to have to do some investigation.
And then there's dessert. There's 4 things.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do some investigation into this matter.
You can't say.
It's not a meat.
So, like, is fish not meat?
No. Fish is fish.
Okay.
Meat. Meat is...
It's a protein.
Meat is...
Okay,
has 4 legs.
I feel like I'm crazy now.
What? Vegetarians don't eat meat, but they will eat shellfish and like fish. That's very different.
Loose.
Meat
those are
4
loose.
legs.
Those
this
are
is
loose.
Me galloping across the screen with 4 legs.
Loose. Those are loose vegetarians.
No.
It's still an animal.
No, it's not an animal. It's a creature. We're going to have to do some investigation.
I wish we were on camera right now.
I wish Karen was here.
I'm...
When Karen's watching, she gives us all the answers.
I'm trying to think so hard right now.
She gives us the information we need.
And reptiles and warm blood and
let's
cold
go back
blood.
To you're loving shrimp right now. You're just loving shrimp right now. That's your favorite meat.
Shrimp and pesto sauce.
I'm gonna go with it.
I found the new crack in the culinary world, and it's pine nuts. Go buy pine nuts.
We're not having pesto tonight, though.
No, there's pesto in the sauce that we have, though. That's already in there, but pesto, because I grow some herbs, and one of those herbs is one of those herbs is basil.
What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at the whole conversation. One of those herbs is basil, and I like to make pesto.
This is life in recovery, friends.
I like to make pesto. I like to make pesto, and pesto requires pine nuts. And so the first time I bought pine nuts, I was shocked off the shelf. And I was like, okay, there's a substitute for everything. The substitute was almonds, and there is no substitute for pine nuts. Like almonds was not, expensive. Almonds were not a good one. It was too earthy and woody. So I did buy pine nuts, but oh my goodness, they're like, gasoline and pine nuts and crack cocaine. They're all in the same category. So there's that.
We're going to get to our morning meditation.
Let's get into the meat of our podcast.
Do you know where that saying comes from? Like, get to the meat of it. Because there was a generation prior to us that believed that your meal needed to be meat and 3 sides. Like
a side being potato?
Yeah.
A starch?
Yeah. And 2 vegetables. Meat and 3 sides. That should be the meal. And that's not true. It's not true.
Okay, you're there's so much lies. Like, no, that is true.
It's not true.
No, that's what every meal should be.
Not true.
Yeah.
No, things can be mixed together.
No, I personally like a protein and vegetable. I could do that. Or a protein and fruit. If I had a restaurant, it would be called, what would it be called?
Meat fruit. Okay, get reading.
Meat fruit. And it would be meats paired with fruit. Stop pointing to the time. All right, here we go.
We do want to bring you a meditation, a thought to think, to reflect on, to meditate on, to contemplate through the rest of your day on a concept of recovery. So we're going to read from...
We've lost everybody because
Al-Anon
everybody's
book.
Googling dumb crap. All right, here we go. June the 21st. Whew. All right. When my meditation on steps 4, 5, and 6 have convinced me that I'm ready to be delivered from a hampering defect of character, the next step, number 7, suggests asking God to remove it. Step 7, as it is stated, does imply removal of all my shortcomings, but I must deal with each one individually as I express it in my daily activities. I must ask God over and over again to release me from it. Today's reminder: I will not expect too much of myself, nor expect to accomplish my improvements all at once, nor without the help of God. I must keep reminding myself to accept His help in all I am trying to do. If, for instance, I concentrate on being tolerant and kind at all times with everyone, it will soon become automatic reaction, no matter how trying the circumstances may be. And there's hope for us. This new attitude will color whatever I do and make me more acceptable to myself as well as others. Here it is, quote of the day. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. The first word is the key to step 7. Humbly.
What does humble mean?
Humble means having a modest opinion of yourself. Was that good? That was without Google and everything.
Yeah, I think that's good. Humility is not insecurity. It's not thinking less of yourself. It's not putting yourself down. I think that humility is a characteristic or a heart position that knows that I am who God says I am, believes what God says about me, and like walks out of that truth about who God says
I'm
about
not
me.
who social media says I am,
right?
Or needs to be, because you could go either way, the puffy pride or the deflated pride.
Right.
And then when I'm hearing this, it's like some of it, they use the words suggested a bit in maybe a miscontext of like, there's a suggestion if you want to get sober the way we did, through a spiritual path, through a process of these steps, then if you agree with that suggestion, this is precisely how we do it. So this isn't a suggestion of a step. This is part of the recipe that if you want this result, then you have to follow it. So that was one thing
and
that I saw.
Often it's not that people are at a place where they're super excited to follow this recipe.
No.
Sometimes people have just realized that maybe this could work for them. Nothing else has worked for them. And they've been going around and around and around in circles.
And I think that's a part of talking about the results, like talking about like the line of transmission of like, I was in the gutter. This is what happened to me. This is what alcohol does for me, not necessarily to me. And you're starting to build this line of transmission. And then I'm sharing the results of a process of a relationship with God. And it's like, is that what you want? Because this is precisely what we have to do that. And so one of the keys out of coming into an awakening and understanding of my condition is the word objectionable. So do I find parts of myself objectionable to the world around me? Like the world around me might, but do I find these things objectionable? And then in step 7, I'm taking my shortcomings, the things that I don't have enough of, and my defects that are too many. I have too much of this and too little of this. And I'm taking it to the altar of God, named them. I've named the fears. I've named the defects. I've named the things that are objectionable to me. And I go, God, take the good and the bad, because I can't tell the difference. I think that's the beautiful thing about this beginning of a relationship and conscious contact with God, is like, I can't differentiate. I got a chur in there. Differentiate. All right, we're not going to
tell the difference. I can't tell the difference.
I can't tell the difference. We'll figure that one out in the car ride. I can't tell the difference of good and bad. And like, you know, I've been going through a thing about giving. Like even giving can be bad. Like bribes. those are bad. You could go to jail for bribes.
We all know bribes are
And
bad.
it's like, even giving could be done in a selfish way.
Mm.
And so I think that the humility starts with, I can't tell the difference what's good and bad. I don't know. I can't. Just take it all. Like, take whatever you need to take and leave me with whatever you need me, and mold me and shape me as I continue my relationship with you. And that's the beautiful thing about coming out of step 7 and going into the amends process, because now I'm starting to reap and sow a new garden. And then I'm making a relationship with God on a daily basis throughout the day. And that's my job. My job isn't to stay sober. And people like fall off the shelf when you say that. But if it was my job, I would have done that before. And so I don't ever regain the power over alcohol. God, it's all God's power. And so my job is to stay in relationship with him, let him take the good and bad. We can be perfectly beautiful train wrecks and be a service to those around us. To God will change and mold our thinking and our focus, and our passions will come out that were probably always there. And once we start leading people into recovery, into a relationship with God, then something ignites in our heart of like, this is what I want to do. Eat shellfish and pine nuts and help others. Man,
that's good.
Well, thank you for allowing us to have time with you today. Like and subscribe and share some stuff. And join us Wednesday for noon. LifeLab meeting. I'll be sharing.
Yes, you will.
About a topic titled concede. And then Saturday we got Ashes Rubies at the Booch Pit. So we'll see you tomorrow. Keep the peace. Be of good behavior.
Thanks for watching.
Have some shellfish today.